This man saves a dictator president with a journalist from a coup d'etat and kills all his attackers. He meets up with his ex-Marine mates and an all-out war occurs. The movie starts and we see a man named Mason. He goes on a mission with his team to execute a president in Paldonia. He is lowered to the ground when the tail of the helicopter explodes. This causes the chopper to be unbalanced as Mason falls to his back. We see Mason as his wife named Jenny and she fixes his tie for him. He takes his daughter named Cassie to school and she tells her father that a boy in her class tries to kiss her every time. Mason tells her to hit the boy in the throat whenever he tries to kiss her again. Mason is now a lawyer and is with his client. His friend and ex-Special Forces teammate named Sebastian comes to him. He asks Mason to spare an hour for him. They go to a security base named the CDI which Sebastian created. He just received a job from a journalist that will be interviewing the president that killed half of his teammates in the helicopter. He wants Mason to take the job but he refuses. Mason goes home and has an argument with his wife because Cassie hit a boy in the throat. Mason talks to his daughter and leaves the house. He takes the job from Sebastian and we see him in a plane, guarding the journalist. The plane lands and the president of Paldonia kisses the hands of the female journalist named Claire. Mason is searched and most of his weapons are taken away from him. They sit in the car with the president named Juan. Mason sees pictures of Juan on horses across the town. They move through the forest as the car ahead of them explodes. Mason takes over their car and uses it to smash the attackers ahead of them. He gets down and shoots 2 more attackers. Mason goes back to the car and sees Juan and Claire gone. He saves them by shooting another attacker down. He feels pain in his back as he struggles to stand. Mason takes his needed equipments and takes Claire to come with him. Juan realizes that it was a coup d'etat. Mason sees that Juan had followed them. He calls Sebastian and tells him about their situation. Juan asks for the phone but Mason refuses, pointing a gun at Juan. He gives the phone to Juan as he calls his nephew. He sees that his nephew is the person that planned the coup d'etat. Mason leaves with Claire as Sebastian tells Mason to go to a location for pickup. Mason and Claire wait at the designated area when they see 2 men dropping from a helicopter. Mason senses danger as he runs with Claire. The duo are being shot at by a helicopter. The helicopter starts firing missiles and the duo stand their ground. With Claire recording, Mason shoots down the helicopter. The helicopter heads for their direction as they run, splitting up in the process. Claire is found and Mason comes to fight her attacker. He chokes the attacker as the attacker dies. Another attacker comes and points a gun at them asking for Juan. Juan shoots the attacker in the back killing him. The trio encounter a town as Juan meets his best friend. Mason is seen washing up in the bathroom. He comes outside as he sees Juan and Claire also coming out. They clean up and prepare for the interview. Mason records the meeting with Claire's phone. Juan makes an amazing statement and the crowd goes wild for him. In the evening, Claire tries to seduce Mason. She doesn't succeed as Mason controls himself. Sebastian calls Mason the following day to tell him that the Paldonia government wanted Mason to kill Juan. Mason comes back from his call and the mercenaries start attacking. They hit Juan's best friend. Juan reveals himself to the mercenaries and Mason takes him away on a horse. The trio ride away as the mercenaries chase them. Claire falls behind as the mercenaries take her. Juan says that he knew about the assassination attempt on his life. He also says that he wasn't the one that shot down Mason's team in the helicopter but the mercenaries did that instead. They get to a town and Juan calls his friends who are the opposition party. They make a deal for the exchange of Claire with Juan. The mercenaries come and Juan comes with many people. This confuses the mercenaries as the trio escape. They use a secret entrance and get into the palace. Juan manages to get his nephew back to his side when one of the traitors come in. He shoots as Juan falls down. Juan gets back up and kills the man. We see Juan's nephew with bullet wounds as he dies. More traitors come in as Juan manages to convince them. They turn their guns at the American soldiers as a shootout begins. Mason and the duo run through a back door. They get to a place where Claire and Juan hide behind a shootout. Mason has a hand-to-hand combat with the leader of the mercenary. They are seen on the ground as Mason struggles. Claire hits the mercenary's neck, choking him. Mason gets to Juan and he picks up a gun. He shoots all the American mercenaries as Claire and Juan watch him in awe. Sebastian and his men break through the gate and help Mason. They have a friendly reunion as the coup ends. Juan, Claire, and Mason are seen on television as Juan gives his speech. Jenny sees her husband as she gets happy. Mason checks his account and sees that Juan had sent him money. He gets happy as he gives a high five to a cop. He gets to his car and decides to take his family on a vacation and they get excited. Like, comment and subscribe to this channel for more content like this.